You feel overwhelmed because your mind is not ready for it. You're not in that headspace to actually do it and to do it to the standard that you really want to do it. So I'm in the car today, as you can see. I thought I would do something a little bit different. I hope you all can hear me well and see me. So anyway, today I'm going to talk about procrastination and how you can benefit from it as a creative person. Because this is something I've discovered by accident during my procrastinating periods. And as we know, there are all kinds of reasons why we procrastinate. We procrastinate perhaps because we've got a fear of failure. Maybe it's lack of motivation. Maybe we are perfectionists and we want to wait for the perfect time and to do a perfect job. So there are all kinds of reasons as to why we procrastinate. So the first benefit is reflection. As some of you experience, I often feel guilty when I'm procrastinating. Like, I know I'm supposed to be working on that project. I'm supposed to be doing something. But because I don't have the motivation or for whatever reason, I'm not doing it. And it is during those times that I often find myself reflecting on my work, on my progress. I reflect on where I'm at, things that I've learned. I reflect on all kinds of things. And for me, reflection is an important aspect of creating, because you can't just keep making content or doing something without taking time to reflect. Reflect on what you've learned, reflect on the progress that you've made, reflect on how you feel about the whole situation, about your endeavors, to reflect on your why or your whys. You want to reflect on why you're doing the things that you do in the first place. Are you still on track, or have you lost track of your whys? So that period of reflection is crucial if you're a content creator or if you're a creative person. So if you ever find yourself procrastinating, then allow your mind to wander. Just reflect, and it is during your periods of reflection that you're able to gain some insight as to exactly where you are. Also, when you reflect, you're able to come back to your work, to your project, with a fresh perspective, with a renewed kind of energy, with a renewed strength. So that's one benefit of procrastination. Another benefit that I discovered when I'm procrastinating is it reduces pressure on me, pressure to meet a deadline. It reduces pressure in the sense that sometimes when I put things off or set things aside, I tend to work on other things. For instance, if I know I need to make a video, instead of putting myself under pressure to make the video, even when I'm not feeling like it, it is during my procrastinating moments or periods that I'm able to work on my work environment, so that when I come back to my project, I can do it in a more relaxed and authentic way, because that pressure is reduced. Because when you're creating under pressure, especially when you're making videos, people can see it and they can sense, something is off about you. They can see the vibe. Which brings me to my next point, which is when I'm procrastinating about a certain project, I tend to find other more pleasurable projects to work on instead of that project I know I want to work on or I need to work on. Projects that I find perhaps easier to do at the time. For instance, before I made this video, I wrote a blog about it, because at the time I found it easier and more pleasurable to do, because I didn't have the pressure of doing my hair, setting the camera up, or the preparation that comes with making a video. I was able to just sit down and write. Nobody sees me when I'm writing. They just see the words when I finally publish on my website. So you can do that as a way of benefiting if you're a creative person. Work on those things that you find easier or more enjoyable. So that's another benefit. And as a continuation of reducing pressure and working on your work environment, you can get yourself organized. Instead of putting pressure on yourself to complete the task or that project, you can start organizing your ideas. You can get your thoughts together. You can plan things and you can make to-do lists. So you just get yourself organized, get yourself ready for when you need to do that task. And this helps you to feel more in control of the situation, because when you put yourself under pressure to achieve or to accomplish or to complete a task when you don't really feel like it, or when you're not in that headspace, you feel overwhelmed. You're not in that headspace to actually do it and to do it to the standard that you really want to do it. So take that opportunity to get yourself organized. And another benefit I've discovered when I'm procrastinating is that it affords me the opportunity to gain some inspiration, because when I know I've got this project that I need to complete, and when I don't feel like it, or when I lack the motivation, and then I start listening to podcasts or just having a conversation with a friend, it is during those moments or during that time that an idea pops to my mind, that I gain that inspiration to actually go back to that project with a fresh perspective. It can be a walk in the park that sparks an idea, a creative idea that you can then use to work towards your project. So grab those opportunities and utilize those moments that spark that inspiration. So don't ever see the time you spend walking in the park or speaking to your friends or listening to a podcast or watching some videos as a waste of time, because sometimes it is during those moments that an idea sparks in your mind, a creative idea, because sometimes all we need is some time away from our project or the work at hand to come back with a fresh perspective, to come back with more creative ideas. Sometimes we just need to tear ourselves away from that thing. Before I faint in this car, I just want to say that while procrastination is often viewed in a negative light, it doesn't have to be a negative experience. You can benefit from it. If you utilize it well, you can actually come out better and more productive than ever before.